welcome back to Movie Reviews 101. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. And the reason is I got a copy of this book, Everybody's a Critic. And the idea is it's got a 52-day challenge where we have to go through a load of different subjects. And I thought what we're going to try and do is one of these a week, ideally how the book would like, with a bit of a twist where instead of it just be me talking about one, I will be talking about a couple of my favourites. No rankings, just the ones that are favourites. And number one in this is Best Picture winners. So I've picked out 5 that I really enjoy. I'm not going to lie, I have not seen, I believe, about half of the Best Picture nominations. I do struggle with some of the older movies, but I do know I have seen Wings, the first Best Picture winner, and I think I've seen everything in the last 20 odd years, and maybe even 90s as well, so I think I'm doing okay with it. So without further ado, we're going to look at the 5 I enjoy the most. I was recently surprised I didn't actually own one of these, and another one has been lent to a friend. So I've only got 3 of the DVDs, which is going to make this even more fun. So we're going to start off with one I own and still have, and that is going to be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Now, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is the oldest of the movies that I've selected, and it stars Jack Nicholson as a man who gets put in a mental home where he starts to have a few problems there with a nurse. And we know this is going to have, like with all these films, they're all incredible movies. I can't really go into much more than just say they're amazing. But for me, I love watching this one because I know little bits. I knew the ending of this movie, but I didn't really know everything that was going on during it before I watched it. And for me, everything that happens is just makes you feel like how heartbreaking the story really is. And it's also one of the first of many nominations that Mr. Nicholson got as an actor who had one of the best streaks of an actor of any generation. So that's going to be the first one. We're going to go to one I don't have the copy of right with me, and that is going to be Schindler's List. I still don't know how I didn't own this one. It's one of the hardest watches to ever have to watch. And I remember watching this first at school when we were studying World War II, and it's just amazing to think of all these people that were the heroes of the war that had to do everything anonymously just to make sure they were safe, but to save millions, thousands, however many. They've all saved different amounts of people from the horrendous actions that were caused in World War II. And again, this is a wonderfully acted movie. And to think that Spielberg made this movie and Jurassic Park together, obviously they're not the same movie, but you know what I mean? He's working on both at the same time, and all you can think of is, wow, what a director. And simply put, that is why it is up there with one of my favourites. Back to one we've got here with us, and that is Silence of the Lambs. Now, Silence of the Lambs has a special place in my heart for this reason, as it is one of the only horror movies to be up for an Oscar, yet alone winning one. I am always a big campaigner that Oscars need to recognise horror. I have seen plenty of horrors that I believe are better than some of the Best Picture winners, especially this year. And for me, Silence of the Lambs is one of the perfect thrillers. And I know Hopkins and Foster get all the praise, and they both won awards for it. But I also have to say that Ted Levine is one of the greatest villains you will ever see in movies, that never gets enough attention as Buffalo Bill. And for me, I could watch this movie again and again because it's just so haunting. And that takes us into number 4. Number 4 is another one, that's the one I lent my friend and haven't had back, and that is The Departed. And The Departed is Martin Scorsese's remake of Infernal Affairs, the trilogy from, I believe it was China. I probably made a mistake there. But anyway, I hadn't seen those 3 films because they were really hard to get hold of. So I watched The Departed, and then eventually I got my hands on Infernal Affairs, and went back and watched them. And because I'd seen The Departed, who contained 3 movies into one, everything made even more sense to me. And the all-star cast, the unexpected actions that were happening, made it very special. It's a great crime thriller. I'm not the biggest fan of the pure gangster movies, hence why there's no Godfathers or anything like that in this list. But for me, that movie was right on cue for everything special. And while this one might feel like a bit of a cheat, the last one, I have to pick Parasite. Parasite is the movie you really can't talk about unless you know someone's seen it. It is one of those movies that you have to go in blind, you will be left shocked, and you will want to see if anything was left there for you to figure out earlier in the movie. That's the simplest way to put Parasite. It is incredible. It was one of about 3 of the actual best pictures of the last 10 years I really liked. I did enjoy a couple of others like Shape of Water, but some of the others I wasn't the biggest fan of. Nomadland. I wasn't the biggest fan of Moonlight. I would like to have seen a bit more from it. But then again, the Oscar movies are not always very obtainable in the UK, which is what the biggest problem for me is. It's like, why should we be voting for a movie that may get like a week in the cinema over something that makes a lot of money or is very good in their genres, because genres need to be appreciated. But that sounds like a rant. So, with this challenge, I would like to see if it's going to go well. And the next one is one of the hardest ones to describe. It just says a movie called A Classic. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean I think it's a classic? Does that mean it's something that's older, or what? Well, I'm going to have to do some interpretations on this, but if you have a list of some of your favourite Oscar winners, please don't put all of them. Say pick 5 that you enjoyed the most. Mine weren't ranked. I'm trying to avoid rankings at the moment, but if you have 5 of your favourites, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, please just enjoy your movies. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.